You're listening to the Louddmouth Radio Network.
All right, we're back live, and I'm so excited to be on air today to bring to you this very special guest. I hope everyone is tuned in and ready to have a very intellectual conversation. I always love to be able to have someone on air that we can just have a in-depth conversation and bounce off some things, and in this process, share the wonderful talents and gifts of an entrepreneur that is out here working and saying, look, I want to provide something to you that's going to be invaluable and that you will find a connection to us. And so today we have the pleasure of having another media component on our broadcast, which is a blessing for us. Ms. LeShelle Smith, the host of Minority Report, is features Black-owned businesses. She's interviewing entrepreneurs and reviews their products on her website and her YouTube channel. In honor of Black Love Day, which was on February 13th, she created the Ultimate Black Love Gift Guide, a Black-owned business coupon book. With every blog article, social media post, and YouTube video, LeShelle's goal is to highlight Black-owned businesses through storytelling, promote their products and services by providing honest product reviews, and Minority Report is here to empower and educate aspiring entrepreneurs while informing and encouraging Black consumers to practice group economics. Oh, isn't that wonderful? It felt good just to say all of that. Oh, my God, Kevin. LeShelle, welcome to Louddmouth Radio. Are you with us?
I am. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. This is definitely the highlight of my day.
Yes, you heard me talking about you.
Yes,
it's always good when people talk about you. You can hear it.
Yeah, it does. It feels good. It feels real good. In light of everything that's going on around the country, around the world, you know.
Oh my God, yes.
This we need this right now. Let's just kind of take our minds off for a good hour. You know, if you constantly watching the news or or you're trying to follow the map as to where the virus is going next or who got it, last. Yeah, let's try to get away from that just for a moment to talk about, something else that is just as important.
Absolutely. For sure. And you know what's so special is that it's another sister and a family that, as Jazzy and I say, we always love to meet family of media that is out here doing the things necessary to stay connected, to stay informed, because there's so much, quote unquote, fake news that is happening. And LeShelle, you understand the invaluable need to be a resource. All of us are resources.
Yeah.
And what I love about you is so funny. You reached out to us and said, "Listen, you found out about our program, and you said I want to come on, I want to be featured." And I had been following you for some time, so I was very familiar with you. So when I saw your name pop up, I was like, "Okay, hi, LeShelle."
Hey, cousin.
Yes, hey. And then
hey,
I know, right? Now I got cousins in Pittsburgh, honey. So we might have to do some genealogy checking. We fit, honey. We have a large span of Smith, honey, and we're gonna have that. That's another sidebar conversation. So for those who are listening, right now we're not related. We could be. We are related in some human form, right?
We gonna find out.
Yes, and what's awesome is LeShelle and I had a brief conversation the other day just preparing for today's broadcast, and I had already felt like we were already in this interview, in this segment today. And it was so enticing. I wanted to keep talking at the same time. I was like, oh, wait a minute, we got to wait. Because we're going to
we got to hold on just a little bit.
Yes, because we're the only ones talking. Ain't nobody hearing this. Yes.
Right. It was a private conversation, but we tapped into so many things that I know that we want to share with our, respective audiences. It was like, okay, I'll be sitting here talking to you all night. Let's just wait till Thursday.
Okay. I'm like, seriously, though. And what's so important? Just reading your bio, I love to try to give as much insight about people as possible, but it's always a brief bio. So what I want to do, just so we stay within concordance of how we normally do, I want to allow you to tell our audience about yourself, give us some background, and how you got to the point of maturity of the Minority Report, so that people know, how to catch up to where you are as of today.
Minority Report actually was birthed out of an examination of poverty within the Black community. I was a participant and then a facilitator of a program in my local community that was a 16-week program where individuals from various different backgrounds, all of which were living below the poverty line, would come together and examine their situations as to, how it was that they got into poverty and what it is that they could do to get out of poverty. And we examined, our lack of resources, because money is only one resource. We talk about having a lack of, family, resources,
Absolutely.
access, opportunity. And the main thing that we talked about that hit me the most was our interaction with our legislators, our local government body. And then that's when we really get into depth about redlining, about taxes, like how Black people are taxed in comparison to everybody else. Really looking at your community and saying, okay, why is the grocery store in this community 20 miles away, but in that community over there, that zip code or that county, it's healthy food you can find like almost everywhere. So when we start talking about things like that and we start talking about how that impacts us on an individual basis, it really made me look at group economics. And it made me start to look at Dr. Claude Anderson. He's the author of Powernomics, and a lot of other authors who've written content, and not just authors who've written books, but, just peer-reviewed journal articles, things like that really, really have examined the economic structure in the Black community. And if we want to see anything change, it's going to cost us. It's going to cost all of us. It's going to cost us something. And
yes, each other.
We don't.
Each
right,
other.
Exactly.
We have to step up.
We have to step. We have to step up.
Have to.
It's a must. Because at the end of the day, we're going to have a $1 trillion ability to spend money, but we're not really investing that money wisely back into our community. So it really made me think about where is that money going? Where is it coming from? And really wanting to engage with other Black entrepreneurs. Wanting to engage with those who
out
are
of our
trying
community. That's what
right,
it's going to.
exactly.
It's racing out of our community. Don't lose your point. I want you to elaborate on what you're saying, because I remember statistically, I haven't checked this recently, but this was just over the last year or so, this conversation about various demographics of people and how our economic spending is happening. And in the African American community, our dollar does not sustain longer than 30 minutes. And
right.
in terms of that, we get the money, we spend the money, primarily as quick as it comes, but it does not stay in circulation, not even a day. Typically, it's going into some other avenue of demographical spending. So,
absolutely,
prime example, Asian demographically, economics, that money circulates within the community for almost 30 days. Okay? Until it either vanishes or recycles into another.
The Jewish community is an even bigger example. There was a book that I didn't finish reading it. I started it, and it's called The Jewish Code. It's a very, very interesting. It's a very, very interesting book as to just how they practice group economics. Period. How they practice group economics. How they're within their own community, they actually have the ability to lend to other people who operate in that realm of faith. It's a very interesting dynamic that we'll say, yes, just like the statistics that you quoted, we'll say the dollar lasts longer in this community. Okay, we know that, but when are we going to apply that same mindset and that same practice to our own community? When? And for me, when it really, really hit home, it really hit home politically when I started working at This is really interesting. When I started working for, no, seriously, when I started
let me get myself together. Let me word this properly. I heard all of that right through this microphone.
Right, because I want to be mindful as to what I say.
Yes.
But when I started working for a lobbying firm,
okay.
and I really saw how PACs work, and I mean, just on a very low level, a PAC is really just a group of individuals who have one particular interest, and they are really willing to put their money behind that interest and that political interest. So, for example, if the corner that I live on, I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids like either get hit by a car or almost get hit by a car. So I really want my municipality to either put in a stop sign or a speed bump. And I can write letters and I can call, but we know that there's power in numbers, and we also know that money talks. So if I go to my local legislator, whether it's city council or an alderman or, whatever that local level is in your community, if I go to them and I make the request, I could be heard. I can go to city council meetings. I can go to borough or township meetings. But what really gets the ball rolling is when me and my neighborhood put dollars together and we put our money behind the politician that wants our vote, period. And when I worked at the lobbying firm, and I saw that happening day in and day out, and we constantly say or think or suggest that the system doesn't work, I would like people to keep in mind that the system was never designed to work for us. However, if we learn to play the system, play the game the way everybody else is playing the game, and use our funds to fund politicians who have our best interests at heart, but holding their feet to the fire, we will get the kind of change that we need. Power corrupts. And we'll get, our Jesse Jacksons, our Al Sharptons, and, our Andrew Gilliams and our Stacey. We'll get those individuals into office. However, once they get in there, you start getting into the thin of thick things, or the thick of thin things, and now you start getting comfortable. Now you don't have your local community, donating to your campaign. Now you are getting major corporations donating to your campaign.
When President Obama, that threshold was lifted to where it allowed the super PACs and all of that to start dropping humongous amount of dollars. And it was all set up for the overtake to basically pay to put the person you wanted in office.
That's what it all boils down to. And if we want to see changes for, like I said, lower taxes, if we want to talk about student loans, access to health care, all of that is on an administrative level, on an executive level. And we are going to need politicians to advocate for us on that level. And the only way that we're going to bend their ear and get them to bend their will to us is we're going to have to donate and put them in office and make them lawmakers and make them administrators over the laws. We have to make them court judges. That's what we need. And the only people who actually have the financial ability to do that is us and our black entrepreneurs. The same way Walmart and the Targets and the Russians and the Apples and the Googles and the Facebook, the same way they get laws passed to spy on us, to sell our private information. You know how they do that? Them businesses get together and they buy the politician that they want. So if we want to start,
so they can have their way. Yeah.
So that they can have their way, we're going to have to do the exact same thing. Now, that's on a higher level. Let's bring it back down to a little bit street level. When it comes to these businesses out here, we are constantly giving our money away to corporations that do not have our best interest at heart. They don't give back to our schools. They don't give back to our communities. They don't give back to our nonprofit organizations. Now you can go to like Sam's Club and, they'll give you a little $250 here. They'll give you a grant. They'll donate food to your food bank. They'll do little things here and there.
Just enough.
But that's a tax write-off to them. They'll do just enough.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, just enough is no longer enough. We've gotten
Absolutely.
all we're going to get from them. That's it. All we have right now is all we're going to get, which is you can get a lace front, you can get, you can go on a couple trips here and there, you can get a nice car.
Lace fronts.
You can get eyelashes, you can get a mid-sized car, you can get you can get Southwest $99 to wherever it is you want to go, but that's not freedom. They dangle these carrots in front of us. That's not freedom.
Right.
Those are comfort.
So you noticed